Hello and welcome to All the Way Down, a YouTube channel all about the Scottish rock band Biffy-clyro.
All the way down, all the way down.
Now, I absolutely love a cover version. Now, when it comes to Biffy-clyro, they are no stranger to covering songs. From around the third album to this year, they've done absolutely loads, and I've tried to find them all. Maybe before that, before they were releasing albums, they probably did the odd cover here and there, but I'm going to start from when they started releasing their own albums. I'm going to go from there to now. And I think I've found them all. I'm going to archive them right now. I'm going to do it in 10 minutes. The term cover version originally referred to a rival version of a tune recorded to compete with the recently released version of a song. When it comes to Biffy, the idea of competing with the original song is rather inappropriate, and there are a few reasons for this. To make this point a bit more clearer, and to keep track of all the covers Biffy have taken on, I've divided them up into 5 categories. Biffy Upper Classic, Live Lounge Pop, Solo Simon, Biffy Strips Back the Rock, and various artist compilations. Let's kick off with the first cover I ever heard the band do. In the first category, Biffy Upper Classic. In the first few years, Biffy did something different with their covers, sometimes only keeping the lyrics or an odd riff from the original and binning the rest. It's a great angle to take on when covering a song, because you can put your own spin on it, rather than going for a carbon copy. It's the case with all 3 songs in this category. Take Me Out by Franz Ferdinand. Oddly, they put the iconic intro right at the end of this song, but the rest is full of ideas that sound like they could be from Infinity Land. This was recorded for a Radio 1 Live Lounge session in 2005. Buddy Holly by Weezer. This was for the high voltage A Brief History of Rock for Kerrang! Magazine in 2006, which was a CD that came free with the magazine. Recorded in between albums Infinity Land and Puzzle, sections of this song were reportedly used on a song called The Ghouls of Bin Bombidor that's never been released, and 9th and 15th from Puzzle, although it's not that obvious. Only the lyrics and the guitar solo are similar to the original, but there's lots of sections that sound like they could go straight onto Infinity Land, like the other one. You Can Go Your Own Way, Fleetwood Mac. Recorded for the BBC Six Music's iconic John Peel session in 2004. The first minute is pure sigh, screaming Jaggy Snake style until its raucous melody sounds faintly like Fleetwood Mac's big hit. Quite frankly, there should be more of these covers in Biffy's catalogue, but as their popularity increased around their 4th album, it was understandable that covers became a bit more straightforward and closer to the original. That leads me neatly onto category 2, Live Lounge Pop. There are quite a few of these, so let's just rattle through them, shall we? Umbrella by Rihanna. Recorded for the Radio 1 Live Lounge session in 2007, it's stripped back acoustic, lovely singing by Ben and Cy, and it made it as a B-side to Who's Got a Match. That's how good it was. Fight for This Love by Cheryl. 3 years later, they returned to the Live Lounge for this one. It's a weak original in my opinion, but it's somewhat unremarkable when Biffy do it as well, saved only by Ben's falsetto backing vocals. Love, Sex, Magic by Cara. Again for the Radio 1's Live Lounge session in 2009, this made it onto the Volume 4 original compilation of the Live Lounge sessions. It's a bit silly and fun, this one. Ben sings Simon, which makes Simon late for his opening line. There's laughing in the background and there's no illusion about how light-hearted and juxtaposed this sounds. Diane Young by Vampire Weekend. Another Live Lounge session back in 2013. This one is a real foot stomper and it looks like they're really enjoying this one. Coming in at just over 2 minutes, it's short, sweet and feels more like a laid-back sound check than anything else. Get Lucky by Pharrell Williams. Recorded for Dermot O'Leary's BBC Radio 2 show in 2013, Biffy performed Opposite, Biblical and This. They didn't really have to do a cover here, in all honesty. Get Lucky feels like a bit of low-hanging fruit cover-wise, plus considering they were probably on the Opposites campaign trail, an acoustic version of Black Chandelier or Stinging Bell may have been worth doing instead. Despite that, there's nice harmonies here, and Ben sings the chorus, which is lovely. It's tight but a little bit unsurprising. We Built This City by Starship. It's getting to the point where 2013 just seems like they were on the Live Lounge tour, because it seems to be doing loads at this point. They were back in the Live Lounge in 2013, they took on a mammoth hit, Lovely harmonies by Ben and James. Ben has just got an impressive stripped back drum set here, consisting of a bass drum, shaky egg and tambourine. It's very easy on the ears. Tilted by Christine and the Queens. Performed for the BBC Live Lounge session in 2016, I was a little bit disappointed by this one, mainly because I consider the original to be close to perfect as you can get a pop song. This takes a while to get going, but Psy does a great job of the French spoken word part. Wet Ass Biffy, Cardi B. Yeah, let's just forget this monstrosity, shall we? Royals by Lorde. Performed live for the 1%ers, whatever that is, in 2013. It sounds like a Live Lounge session, it's a great pop song and they do a good job. Towards the end they managed to turn it into Simply the Best by Tina Turner, which is a nice surprise. Let's move on then to category 3. Solo Simon. I Sat by the Ocean by Queens of the Stone Age. This was for a radio session in Amsterdam. I couldn't find the actual date, but it looks like it's around the Opposites era. Just Simon and his acoustic, reading lyrics from an iPad. I've never heard the original, and it doesn't sound like Simon's too familiar with it either. The Killers, When You Were Young. Covered for a radio session on Today FM in Dublin in 2007. It's okay. Japanese to English, Red House Painters. This was for an XFM radio session in 2008. Played alongside Living as a Problem and Who's Got a Match. This cover influenced me to go out and get the Red House Painters album that this original comes from. I can't find Psy's version of it anymore. He plays with an electric guitar, a bit like Do You Remember What You Came For, that great B-side. If anyone can direct me to it, it will be greatly appreciated. God Only Knows, The Beach Boys. It's a real surprise we only heard this cover done for the MTV Unplugged performance at the Roundhouse in London in 2018, considering it's such a special song for Simon. The lyrics from the chorus are tattooed across his chest, and he's spoken before about it was his wife's and his wedding song. A very good choice in my opinion. It's a deceivingly complex pop song in terms of chords. Psy struggles with the falsetto a little bit, and you can tell he struggles slightly with the chord changes here and there. Now I can't leave this category without mentioning this one. Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush. This was performed at the 9th annual Roaming Roots Review for Celtic Connections, filmed during lockdown in January 2021. It was hosted by Roddy Hart and the Lonesome Fire. Simon also performed Machines and another cover here, This Must Be the Place by the Talking Heads. Let's add that to the list. These aren't credited as Biffy Clyro covers, but as Simon Neil covers. In terms of Running Up That Hill, I love the original anyway. It sounds so modern even in 2022. Quite frankly, it's a huge song to take on, but they really excel with this one. I don't know anything about the band he has behind him here, but together they managed to almost surpass Kate Bush's version in my opinion. Psy's intense singing and almost ethereal sonics wailing behind him. It's a real testament to the original song. Category 4. Biffy Stripped Back the Rock. Killing in the Name by Rage Against the Machine. This was first performed at the introducing stage at Reading Festival 2008. From what I remember, it was a surprise acoustic performance before their actual set on the main stage. Rage Against the Machine headlined that year, and Biffy played earlier. It's a bit unsteady and flat, but they get a good fuck you sing-along going towards the end, which makes Psy laugh. They performed it again for One. According to the website, it's a global movement to end poverty and disease, in 2013. It sounds far more mature and confident here. I'm not sure why they felt the need to bring it out again. Maybe due to the fact that it's a protest song. Sadly, I don't think it works as an acoustic song. AC/DC, You Shook Me All Night Long. Another song that was never meant to have an acoustic guitar anywhere near it, it's this one. It's an acoustic session at the Download Festival 2008, and they do a good job of the chorus, with the help from Ben and James singing backing vocals. Daughter by Pearl Jam. In 2008 the band performed an acoustic session as part of Colin Murray's In the Company Of section for Radio 1. I hadn't heard this before, but since researching Biffy's covers I managed to find this one, and I was pleasantly surprised. As a big fan of Colin Murray, it was great to hear Psy wish him happy birthday in the song. And on to our final category. When the band aren't pitching up to radio stations and padding out acoustic versions of pop songs, they get themselves into a recording studio and lay down something proper. It's time for Various Artists Compilation, The Modern Leper, Frightened Rabbit. This was taken from the Tiny Changes tribute album to Scott Hutchinson, the lead singer from Frightened Rabbit who took his own life a couple of years ago. The album features such acts as Julian Baker, who covers the same song, Ben Gibbard, Manchester Orchestra and the Twilight Sad. It's really solid, and if anything it shows off the songwriting of Scott. May he rest in peace. Holier Than Thou, Metallica. This is taken from the Blacklist covers album, along with 52 other artists back in 2021, 30 years after Metallica's Black Album was unleashed into the world. It includes Phoebe Bridgers, Royal Blood, and recent cover experts Weezer. I love this one. It includes the little synth stabs that we hear on their last album, The Myth of the Happily Ever After. The guitars sound huge, and a lot of the comments on YouTube are from die-hard Metallica fans who consider this brilliant and creative. Biffy got a lot of stick from a few metalheads for headlining Download Festival recently. I like to think this won them round. So there we have it, 23 covers in total. And yes, I did forget the Foo Fighters cover that they did, Times Like These, but that was the band alongside a load of other acts for the Live Lounge All-Stars in 2020. I don't really want to count it because it was a part of everyone else being a part of it. It wasn't just them, but feel free to chuck it in as well. Modern Love by David Bowie. Recorded for Howard Stern in 2019 for his Sirius FM show, this reminds me of what they did to other covers, such as You Can Go Your Own Way or Buddy Holly. So much so that I had to go back and listen to the original to remind myself what it sounds like. Listening to Biffy's mangled version of this, you can't really tell what it used to be. It sounds very much like New Biffy though, from the Opposites or A Celebration of Endings era. If you like this and the Frightened Rabbit cover, they're both available together on vinyl. So that is what I believe to be all the cover versions that Biffy have attempted. A lot of live lounge sessions in there, but I'm going to say there are a couple of songs that didn't hit the mark, especially Wet Ass Biffy, but I'm going to name my top 3 right now. You Can Go Your Own Way by Fleetwood Mac. The fact that it was a John Peel session for BBC Six Music, an absolute icon of broadcasting, that's got to make it a bit more special for me. Number 2, I'm going to go with Simon Neil's Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush. Not a Biffy Clyro cover, but what Simon and the band did was absolutely fantastic. I still listen to that song weekly. It's a brilliant song. And number 1, I'm going to go with Metallica's Holier Than Thou. What they did to that was so special, and the fact that I read all the comments on YouTube, and like I said, most of them were Metallica fans, basically saying that this is the best cover song they've ever heard. So that is what I believe to be the full archive of Biffy Clyro's covers. If you think I've missed one out, do get in touch. everythingbiffyclyro@gmail.com. Plenty more videos to come on different areas of Biffy Clyro's career, including albums, live gigs, songs, lyrics, things like that. If you've got any recommendations of what you want to see as an actual video for me to focus on, do get in touch as well. See you soon.
All the